Good morning, this is World Cup Daily from Stoppage Time News. Everything you missed overnight in one sitting. Coming up, Canada win for the very first time at a World Cup, but the tears in Vancouver are not all about joy. Mexico become the first team into the last 32. And Tottenham splash £52 million on a new defender. It's Friday the 19th of June. Let's get into it. Mosa here, and we begin in Vancouver, where Canada made history. Canada 6, Qatar 0, their first ever win at a World Cup finals, and a statement one at that. Jonathan David led the way with a hat-trick against a Qatar side reduced to 9 men. But the night turned sour. Midfielder Ismael Kone suffered a serious leg injury, the Independent reporting a broken leg, and he was carried off on a stretcher amid emotional scenes. More on that in a moment. Down in Guadalajara, the hosts took control of Group A. Mexico beat South Korea 1-0, and the BBC and Sky both point to a goalkeeping error from Seung-Yu Kim. That result makes Mexico the first team to reach the last 32, with a round of 32 tie at the Azteca now on the cards. There were big moments elsewhere. Switzerland beat Bosnia and Herzegovina 4-1, the BBC reports, substitute Johan Manzambi scoring twice in a thrilling final 20 minutes, with The Guardian noting Bosnia finished with 10 men. And South Africa rescued a point against the Czech Republic, Teboho Mokoena tucking away an 83rd minute penalty to make it 1-1. A draw that, per the Independent, keeps both sides alive going into the final round of group games. Now the story of the day, and it comes from Vancouver. The BBC framed it perfectly. A day of tears, scuffles and history. On the pitch, this was Canada's moment, a first-ever World Cup finals win, a 6-0 rout, and a Jonathan David hat-trick in front of more than 52,000 fans. Off it, the joy drained away in an instant. Midfielder Ismael Kone went down with what the Independent describes as a broken leg, was carried off on a stretcher, and the mood inside the stadium changed completely. The BBC reports angry, emotional scenes and a flare-up between the sides in the aftermath. Canada's manager Jesse Marsh, who the BBC says was reduced to tears, called the loss of Kone a huge loss, even as he praised his players. It is the strange duality of tournament football, a nation celebrating the biggest result in its history, while one of its own is stretchered off, and a dressing room caught somewhere between elation and heartbreak. Canada go top of their group, but this morning their thoughts are with Kone. Kate, what's moving on the wire?
Thanks, Arthur, and the usual reminder, these are reports, not done deals, unless we say otherwise. We start with one that is done. Tottenham have confirmed the £52 million signing of defender Jan-Paul van Hecke from Brighton. The BBC, Sky Sports, and The Guardian all carry it, The Guardian calling it Spurs' third signing of the summer, and it reunites the Netherlands centre-back with his former Brighton boss, Roberto De Zerbi. The Daily Mail adds that 2 earlier offers had been knocked back before this one landed. The tournament itself is becoming a shop window. The BBC is already asking whether 2 of the breakout names of the week, Canada's hat-trick hero Jonathan David and Switzerland's 20-year-old Johan Manzambi, could be lining up in the Premier League next season. Nothing concrete there yet, but expect the calls to start. And away from the rumor mill, a date for the diary back home, the BBC and the Standard report, the new Premier League fixtures were released this morning, so Arsenal, Chelsea, and the rest now know how their season begins. Plenty of smoke today. We'll tell you the moment any of it catches fire. Right, quick hits. First, England were back in action away from the cameras. The BBC reports Ivan Toney scored a hat-trick in a behind-closed-doors friendly, while head coach Thomas Tuchel took a break from the dugout to throw the first pitch at a Kansas City baseball game. Tuchel was in the news off the pitch, too. The Independent and Metro report FIFA has tweaked its national anthem protocol after he complained that photographers blocked his view during the Croatia win. Over in the Iran camp, The Guardian says the Federation plans to lodge a formal complaint with FIFA over what it calls restrictions imposed on the team, after being told they can only fly into Los Angeles 24 hours before Sunday's game with Belgium. There was an apology as well. The BBC reports former Tottenham midfielder Rafael van der Vaart has said sorry over a comment he made about Japan's players during their draw with the Netherlands. And finally, a lighter one. The BBC has been out with visiting supporters soaking up American life at this World Cup where, as one fan put it, even the Coke is big. Back to you, Arthur.
So what's next? The action keeps coming today, and it is a big one for the home nations. Scotland face Morocco, with The Guardian reporting that Steve Clarke has warned his players this Morocco side is even better than the one that reached the semi-finals in 2022. Win, and Scotland could reach the knockout stage for the very first time. On Sunday, Iran meet Belgium in the game wrapped in all that off-pitch noise. And looking ahead to Tuesday, England return against Ghana, with Gary Neville, per the Mirror, already urging Tuchel to make 2 changes at the back. We'll have shorts running through the day as it all unfolds, and the full wrap right back here tomorrow morning. Until then, that's your overnight briefing. Stoppage time news before the final whistle.